My guest tonight is Channing Tatum, star of the new movie Magic Mike. Welcome to Hollywood 360.
Thank you very much. How are you?
Good. Glad to have you here. First of all, I'd like to ask you about your first name. I know I saw the SNL promo with you and Fran Armisen. You were kind of chanting this or chanting. I'll have to call my mom. I thought that was so good. I was wondering, is it a family name? Or?
No, not a family name. I have no idea, really. Like, I've always asked my mom and dad, and they're like, no, we just like the name. We always heard it as a last name, and which is weird. They're not like, neither one of my parents are like artists or anything, so it's weird. They're Glenn and Kay. They're very normal names.
Sure.
So I don't know why they decided to go off the wall with mine.
Well, it's wonderful. It's unforgettable, that's for sure.
It was not cool growing up. Like, it was not really. I didn't even know it was Channing for a long time until I was like about 9. And I think we were going to like Little League football, and like I saw him like my birth certificate Channing, and because they just called me Chan.
Okay.
For like my whole life. So yeah.
Sure. Oh, that's kind of fun though. I've seen most of your movies, and I really enjoy your acting.
Thank you.
And I know you come from what I could tell, on the internet, all the different things, kind of a modeling background. What drew you to acting?
I got saw on the street for modeling, and I just really won the lottery. Like, that took me all around the world, and I did that for about 2.5, 3 years. And towards the end of that, I got a Pepsi commercial, and that Pepsi commercial was so much fun. It was more of, modeling all the I guess the fun and the art and the active side is behind the camera. You're just sort of standing there and doing like whatever poses that they want you to do. Every once in a while, you're lucky enough to get somebody to show like that you get to do some emotion or like interact with another model or whatever. But then I just did this Pepsi commercial, and I just fell in love with it. And I came back to New York and just threw myself into an acting like workshop.
That's awesome. And you play a hero in the G.I. Joe movies. I was wondering, because I was just wondering about this, if you could be one of the Marvel, superheroes. Which one would you want to be, or which one would you think would be fun playing?
One out of Marvel, I'd say Gambit. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you know who he is, but he's.
I don't.
He's like from the Bayou. He's like from New Orleans. He's a thief. He's kind of like, he's not really good or bad. He's just sort of he walks the line. So
sure.
Yeah.
You've worked in another movie with director Steven Soderbergh, director of this film, Haywire, and I guess my question is, and Haywire was so physical with the the fighting and all those stunts. But on the same hand, Magic Mike with the dancing and the routines were just incredible. Was one a little bit easier than the other, or could you speak to that?
I'd probably say that the fighting in Haywire is probably easier because it's just you and another person moving together, and you've choreographed it, and it's and she was amazing at it. She made me look good, and the dancing for Magic Mike is, it's a little bit more nerve-wracking. You're having to actually go out in front of 250 women and actually actually take clothes off and strip, and that's very humbling and very exposing.
Something that really amazed me, at one point in the film, you do this very impressive backflip off of the stage. Yeah. Did you practice that, or is that something that's in your dance repertoire?
That's something I kind of grew up doing. I had a group of like ridiculously stupid friends growing up, and we would do all kind of dumb things like that. Like we'd do a backflip off the highest like building or like a house, or we like doing crazy things off the house into the pool or whatever. We Teen Wolf our cars. You know what Teen Wolfing your cars?
No, I don't.
Have you ever seen Teen Wolf?
Yes.
Like where he's doing the backflips on like the truck.
Yes.
When they're driving through the neighborhood. Yeah, we would do that. It was a bad idea. all of it was a really, really bad idea.
Well, it was great. You used your skills later in life.
Yeah, I didn't die, so that was cool. And now I can do some not useless, but now I can actually put them to use. I mean.
You're working now, I believe, on another movie with Steven Soderbergh, The Bitter Pill. Can you talk about him for a little bit? What draws you to that actor? This will be your third film, I believe.
Yeah, I would do movies with him forever. I mean, I think he's not only one of the more innovative and seminal filmmakers of our time, he's kind of like the father of independent film of our generation. I mean, he's made some of the best ones that sort of kind of started the whole wave of independent movies, and I think he's just so uniquely Soderbergh and so uniquely like special. He wears 4 hats. I mean, he's the director of photography, he's a camera operator, and he's the editor. So I mean, I don't know of another director that does all those things. His producer wears 3 hats. He's producer, he's his line producer, and he's his first AD. So he just runs his sets in a complete, well-operated, oiled machine. And that being like sort of all set up, he allows it to breathe and kind of like make its own way. Like, you know, he hires who he wants to hire, and he really lets them, he empowers them to do what he wants, like what he wants to see. Like he doesn't always want them to do what's on the page. He's just like, surprise me. He's like, I want this and this out of the scene. I don't care how you get it out.
Wow.
And so you're just like, all right, cool. Let's start playing.
That is cool. Wow, it gives you that artistic freedom, so to speak. Really,
completely.
I mean, that's rare. And I want to ask you about this because, again, it's what you read, you know, about that you were an exotic dancer at one point when you were 18 or 19.
Yep, 18, 19 years old. Seemed like a good idea. I wouldn't suggest it to anyone else, but I'm not ashamed of it. It was definitely more of the crazier and bizarre time of my life, but I learned a lot. Got out fairly unscathed, and you know, I had some of the more fun times in my life doing it, but it was a very short time.
Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for chatting with us this evening.
Thank you.
And I want to tell everybody, go out and see Magic Mike. It's wonderful. I will be reviewing it for Hollywood 360. And I'd like to take it back to our host, Carl Amari.